Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Virtual Velocity Racing Series as the Xfinity cars are going to be heading to the desert here tonight. Just like we had on Tuesday, now Virtual Velocity Racing is going to be here at Phoenix Raceway with the open dog leg. We've got 119 laps on tap. The schedule had 120, but it looks like we're going to cut it one short here tonight. So we'll see if that gets negated with some late race cautions and maybe some overtime, maybe we'll get over 120 as it stands. But either way, looking forward to a good one here tonight under the lights as the sun is starting to set here in the desert. Carl Landmark joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, back here at Phoenix once again. We got a little over 20 drivers set to take the green flag here tonight. What are you expecting?
I am... what am I expecting? I'm hoping, we don't have a lot of calamity here on this track. Hasn't been nice to some of the drivers, but we are talking about the drivers here at VVR. Some of the most green flag races that we've seen here in CRN. I'm expecting hopefully this 119 laps to kind of fly on by here tonight as the drivers get around here. Do have a little over 20 cars out on the field as they've got they're finishing up qualifying right now. They only have 30 seconds remaining to finish up out there. I don't see anybody out on the track. Actually, Sean Wilder is out on the track. John Garrett, too. So some drivers still out there trying to finish up here tonight and get themselves a good start. This track has a lot of different lines, a very unique front area. I don't know if you want to call it a front stretch, but right there at the end of the grandstands, it's got that big old inside below the yellow line. You see it in NASCAR if you watch them here, and you'll see it here tonight, I'm sure, to going down there and the different lines and runs to kind of make this track work for them. So this should be a good one here, Carl. It is turning nighttime here, so this is going to be a night race here at Phoenix, as you can see as they fast forward here after qualifying was done. But qualifying is done. We'll go ahead and get you a list of your favorite drivers out here tonight. So many things at once, Jimmy. What is going on? Okay, go ahead and bring up the listing here. And it's going to be Robert Kahn with the pole here tonight in the number 21 over Cade Green. And then you got Ryan Kelly, John Garrett, Derek Paulson, Mike Hasty, Dustin Franklin, Eric Blount, Todd Merkel, Brandon Meir out there for your top 10. Len McNeese and Sean Wilder for your road number 6. Road number 7, Michael Taylor and Hilton Young. Dalton Kilroe and Hemi Gardini starting back in row number 8. Todd Poston and Tyler Hilton will make up row number 9. We have more drivers than that, though, here tonight, folks. So we'll get back to the rest of the field here as 19th and 20th on row number 10 is going to be Tim Lee and Michael Pratt. Row number 11, DJ Mitchell, Cole Spalding, and you'll have Tyler Hilton and, make that DJ Mitchell and Cole Spalding on the back row there. So 22 cars here tonight for VVR as they're about to tackle on the likes of Phoenix and the Dogleg.
So I know he definitely finds his race pace, and I'm sure he's going to be a factor, as he always is. But 15th starting position for Dalton Kilroe is one of the lowest starting positions we've seen so far from the 41, and is definitely going to be a bit of an uphill climb. Through the first 5 races of the season, it was just back and forth with Ryan Kelly, Dalton Kilroe winning those races as Ryan amassed 3 wins. Dalton Kilroe got 2, but then it took until race number 6 to finally get a new winner, as Todd Poston was your winner at Daytona. And then last week out, it was Derek Paulson getting his first win of the season. Actually, 2 weeks out, as we had off last week. That was at Echo Park Speedway. But now we got done with the week off, and we got a nice string of races here and some good-looking tracks coming up on the schedule as well. Obviously, we got Phoenix here tonight, but some other tracks coming up. We got Vegas coming up next week. Darlington should be a fun one, an interesting one, a tough one to pass at, but we'll see. We'll see qualifying being big there. Martinsville looms on the schedule again. We don't have to be on the track. We just need to be in the broadcast booth for that one. Then right after that, we got Michigan, so we'll be happy to be in the broadcast booth for that one. Then Bristol and Kansas before we have another break towards the end of April. So some good looking tracks coming up here here on the schedule, but we got 119 laps here tonight that we need to take care of. Robert Kahn grabbing the pole here tonight, and we'll see if it's a night where the 21 is finally going to find his footing here in 2026 and maybe grab his first win of the season, but he's got to keep an eye out for that 13 right behind him. Barney dropping that green flag. It's time to go racing here in the desert.
Yeah, desert's gone. You see the apron wide open there for right off the start there for Ryan Kelly going down there. Just taking a look, and obviously you got to be careful on the start here. You got to get those tires warmed up, and I think these drivers here are well aware of that. You see a bunch of drivers kind of go out and tag in that wall, and you can get away with that a few times here with these cars, but not too often. You don't want to take too much damage, or you'll find yourself on a bit of a pickle trying to make those left-hand turns here tonight. But Robert Kahn trying to get it done on a much higher line than number 13 of Ryan Kelly, but Ryan trying to use that inner side. I've said it before every time we come here, Carl, I'm not a fan of being down low. I do know it can be quicker. I was running laps out here just earlier, setting up some cameras and setting some things up, trying to change the shadows that you see on some of the cars. They were like, to me, because I'm trying to pay attention and give everybody the best picture possible, it looked like a bunch of Legos. So I figured that out today and got them all smoothed out. And I'm still getting some good frames. So, just wanted to get that all corrected here for tonight. But anyways, I'm just not a super fan of going low and down on the apron. And I think obviously it can cause problems. Can be used in the advantage, but here early on with 119 laps to race, maybe they'll go down there consistently, or maybe they'll just kind of ride around here towards a little bit on the upper side. But I just feel when you get down there, you can lose that momentum and you wear out that front right tire, which is a pretty important tire here at Phoenix.
Well, what we're seeing already is we did see some drivers going down there on that apron, but majority of them are staying up on the track. It's something that we didn't see on Tuesday night. We've seen a lot of drivers going down there in the bottom, but it's very few drivers right now going down there in the bottom. And some net code contact there as the 71 gets sent sideways. Dalton Kilrow in the 41 gets tangled up there as well. Some heavy damage to the left rear of the 71 of Brandon Meir as he gets back rolling. Looks like no DJ Mitchell or Tyler Hilton in the race here tonight, as they're still parked in the pits. So 20 cars are out there, green flag racing right now. But yeah, a lot of the drivers staying up there on the track. One thing I did see in practice that I was surprised we didn't see on Tuesday night was the apron being used right here in turn number 2. It's certainly on new tires, and maybe if we have a late race caution and some drivers taking new tires, you can get down there and you're gonna scrub the ever-loving what off the tires by getting down there on that apron. But it is shorter down there as well, and you can gain some time down there in turn number 2. But it's something that you can't do lap after lap after lap, especially if you're wanting to save these tires and make a longer run like these drivers are, I'm sure, wanting to do right now here at the beginning of this race. But Robert Kahn is your leader. Ryan Kelly up to second. Derek Paulson up 2 spots into third. John Garrett, you've seen him up there to third for a little bit, but now he's fallen back to his starting spot in fourth. Dustin Franklin up 2 spots into fifth. Then you got Cade Green, Mike Casey, Eric Blunt, Len McNeese, and Todd Merkel for your top 10.
A little single file action here. You can see Ryan Kelly continues to try to use that lower line around here, trying to make it work there on Robert Kahn. Derek Paulson sitting there in a good solid third here as we're riding on board with Dustin Franklin up there in P number 5 as he works his way around the track. And obviously, super early in the race, but in a good position. You can still see the leaders. Nobody's pulling away. You don't have to worry about anything. Take your time with these tires, and you can kind of hear Dustin's car how much he's kind of off the throttle, and he's not getting back on it till almost getting towards the straightaway. There's a lot of coast time through these corners. You got to use some braking as well, some trail braking, and get yourself down towards that bottom and be able to get yourself in a situation where you get on the throttle and work your way around this dog leg here. And you can see him nice and easily going through this right now. So, but yeah, good run here for Dustin Franklin, up 2 spots. Let's see if we got any big movers yet so far this race. We have one that's up 4 spots, and that would be the likes of Hemi Gardini. I don't like to talk to him for too much as he's had his troubles in the past, but here tonight he's got that bright number yellow 17 working going forward.
Yeah, he's up 4 spots, and looks like Cole Spaulding started shotgun on the field here in 20th. He's up 5 spots as well, so good start for the 49. One thing I did notice, and we were kind of talking about it back and forth about the corner numbers here at Phoenix, and I still think there is only 3 corners here, but the dog leg isn't actually turn number 1. Doesn't look like the dog leg has any turn number. It is actually, and I might be wrong, it might be 4 corners after all. Trying to see if
here's there. I'm with Dalton or Gardini going through 1 right there.
Yep, that is 1. At the end of this is turn number 2.
That's 2.
So this is turn number 2. I know they entered down here in turn number 3, and coming out right before the
that's 3.
Yeah, right before the start finish line, I think it is. Yeah, it is actually turn 4 right there. So it is 4 turns here, even though it's actually 3, and one of those turns isn't numbered. NASCAR numbering systems.
Maybe it's 5.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Maybe the dog leg's 5. They just don't put a number on it because how do you have 5 corners on an oval track? But
well, I mean, how do you have a dog leg on a track when a dog leg is part of a golf course? You know, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on here at Phoenix. But either way, we are doing some green flag at racing right now. Good job by these drivers. See a couple of drivers still going down there to the bottom. Dalton Kilroy seems to be one that's using that apron quite a bit to try and work his way up through the field. Up 4 spots right now. And going to get around the 91 of Sean Wilder. He's got one more car to get around to get into the top 10 as Wilder takes a good chunk of the wall right there on the backstretch. But good start here for the field. Nobody really stretching out, though. I mean, your biggest gap right now in between cars is probably from 15th to 16th from Cole Spaulding back to Todd Poston right now. About a second and a half in between them. But other than that, it is pretty tight racing throughout the field. Nobody's stepping away just yet, but new leader out front. Derek Paulson has moved his way past Ryan Kelly and Robert Kahn, and last race winner, the 5, maybe feeling frisky here and wanting to go back to back.
I mean, why not, right? Go back to back here. He's been a long time, I think, coming there for the 5, trying to get out here when he can and get some racing in and doing just that. Come out here. If you can get out here and have a good night, just kind of qualified well here tonight as he was, started in the top 5. And now has found himself out front. So good run there for the 5 here tonight as we work our way around here on lap 17 of 119.
Not sure on the pit strategy here tonight, what we're going to be looking at for fuel mileage. So we'll wait till we get the first round of pit stops to kind of get an idea of what we're looking at here. But definitely going to be a few pit stops here tonight. And you mentioned the drivers, really having to coast through some of these corners. It is relatively flat track out here in Phoenix, and almost kind of reminds me a little bit when they go into turn number 1 here through 1 and 2. Reminds me a little bit of another track that's 1 mile, but on the other side of the country, and that's New Hampshire. It's kind of flat, and it takes a while till you can finally get in the gas and really work your way off the corner. And even when you do, you kind of slowly have to work that throttle on before you're on the straightaway before you're actually fully back on the gas. And I think you're seeing that here a little bit tonight with these cars, especially trying to save a little bit of tire wear throughout this nice long run that they're on right now. But I need to step away for 1 quick second here, Jimmy. I'll be right back, and hopefully we'll keep this thing nice and green for you.
We'll go nice and green here as we're on lap number 18. Derek Paulson is your leader over Robert Kahn, Ryan Kelly, John Garrett, Dustin Franklin for your top 5. Cade Green up there in 6th. Mike Hasty, Eric Blount, Dalton Kilroy has now broke the top 10 up into P number 9. Len McNeese in P number 10. And kind of if you haven't seen, Dalton Kilroy was involved there kind of early on in that one incident towards the back that did not bring out a caution. And ever since then, I think you've sensed maybe a little bit of urgency. Like, if I don't start nipping this in the butt, I start trying to work my way forward, I could find myself in a very long night. And so that's why I think the 41 is on his way towards the front as fast as possible. Probably just gonna hammer down and beat the crap out of these tires, and I'm sure they'll be screaming here at the end. But Dalton has the skill to get up to the front there from the back. It's just a little bit longer night, and trying to nip that early start kind of debacle there to kind of put it away here. But in that top 10 right now, and tracking down people lap by lap. We'll go back up front as the leaders nobody's really spread out as Derek Paulson continues to lead here over Robert Kahn. So everybody's still doing great. There's just no real super close racing on the track. Go back here to 15th. You see the likes of Cole Spalding trying to track down that number 31 of Todd Poston there. And then you have Michael Pratt right behind him. So Michael Pratt trying to move forward as well. Michael Pratt hasn't had the season I think he would want this year. We'd like to see him get that, that win. It's been a while since we've seen the 77 come from the back to the front here on CRN, but always, every single week. So if there's any car on the back of the pack, it's the number 77 of Michael Pratt. Back here, Tim Lee getting around here tonight. And that number 24, Shell Machine. Big shout out to Tim for everything that he does here at VVR and bringing CRN on board, so y'all fine fans can come out here and watch them race each and every week. And they do have their sponsors as well. They have Gold Light Guardians, Hilton Crafts and Designs, along with Fort Worth Screen and Printing. So shout out to all the sponsors that continue to sponsor VVR so they can come out here and race. Go back up here by Mike Casey. Looks like there's a pass trying to be made there by 41 of Dalton Kilrose. He continues to march forward now side by side with Mike Casey as they exit turn number 2. Head down that little bit of stretch. Not quite the run that the 41 needs to get by. So, Dalton Kilrose was able to knock a few drivers down, but now you get to the front of the field just a little bit. You find yourself, a little more challenging to get on there. You're going to go ahead and use that down there on that very low side apron to try to get the run below the 72. And you can see he does get alongside of him, but can he get the grip to run the 72 down and get around him? And they're still side by side and not quite able to get that momentum yet. He's trying, and at this point, that the 41 has been doing some pretty heavy racing. This time going down to that lower side, you can see how not much changes, and obviously the 72 can't go down to that inner side of the track. The 41 of Dalton Kilroe can't drift up any, which slows them both down. So they'll start losing some time on the drivers in front of them, and that's why Dalton Kilroe wants to probably get around. And how many laps will they race like this? Maybe right now. I think the Hasty is gonna let the 41 kind of go get in front of them. So they can work their way back up and not lose the drivers in front of them, so they don't have to work as hard. So move Dalton Kilroe up into P number 7. But no other changes right now. Go back here with Brandon Mears. He is in a battle as well as he's trying to track down the number 49 of Cole Spalding.
Yeah, one thing that Phoenix is known for is
can we get some green flag pit stops? Mike, Mike's out there. Mike said, can we get some green flag pit stops? I mean, Mike, you're not in the booth tonight, so maybe we can.
Harsh right there. But yeah, one thing Phoenix is known for is multiple lines here, especially through 1 and 2. And that second line, that outside line, it may not be the preferred line for for trying to be fast out there, but it is absolutely 100% a line that can be used for defense. And he's seen Spalding put up a little bit of defense there as much as he could, but Brandon Muir now going to make the that DHL number 71 get on by. So maybe the damage on that left rear, not too bad, and is allowing him to race. But we got a battle for the lead. Looks like Ryan Kelly going to taste his first lead of the night here, and I'm sure a lot of these drivers don't like to see that 13 get out to the lead. I'm sure Dalton Kilrow is one of them that doesn't want to see that 13 out the lead, but he's going to lead his first lap right here on lap number 30. Actually, yeah, sorry, 31. As we are clicking off these laps pretty quickly here, already a quarter of the way through this race. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I want to thank our sponsors for the series, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs.
Playing with settings. Sometimes I get lost in a train of thought, folks. I'm not trying to have dead air for sure, but trying to move cameras around and playing with some settings. I know the stream looks fantastic. Everything's coming up. And then, I have little things here that I usually use, and they're not on my screen where I want them. And so I'm just trying to get them back the way I had them. Obviously, with the upgrades and stuff like that, you do weird things like a fresh install. If you ever want to do a fresh install and mess all your stuff up, don't recommend it.
Yeah, we're creatures of habit, and I mean, we don't mind change, and sometimes change is good, and it brings you a whole new set of possibilities. But when you're so used to doing things a certain way and so used to having buttons in certain places, or the overlays looking like this or doing this, you get set in your ways very easily, and I will 100% admit to that. And I think Jimmy is right along with me with that. When you get so used to having things where you want them when you're clicking around here, and all of a sudden you look and it's not there, and it frustrates you to no end to try and get things set up, or if you think everything is up and working smoothly, and all of a sudden you find out that somebody's mic is off, or somebody's the track map isn't on. It's kind of like a kind of moment, but that's why we're not professional. We're professionals, but we're not. We're small-time professionals. We're the AAA team.
And I'm okay with that because I think it leaves some. I'm not a machine. I'm not perfect. I'm a human, and I'm out here having fun. This is a hobby. As much as driving, I thoroughly enjoy watching other drivers race, better than watching NASCAR, matter of fact. It's kind of addicting. You're kind of wanting to see who's going to win, and you end up, you get yourself a favorite driver. I mean, Barry, I think, has a favorite driver for every series, and then obviously we'll pull for somebody else new once in a while. So just seeing some driver driving well, and like to see him finally get that win. And we've had people up here running, and Ryan Kelly's obviously been out here, and a creature of habit now, starting to tick off some of those wins, and just kind of came in late of the season, and I'm sure it would have gave Dalton Kilrow a run for his money as far as points are concerned. But he's really clicking off them wins here as of lately. Derek Paulson obviously getting a win, not being able to be here full time as well. Another great driver. Robert Kahn's had great races all season. The racing altogether has been great here at VVR. I love watching these guys, especially being able to, they get more fuel than some other leagues in some cases, and they're able to complete them green flag pit stops. I love watching the green flag pit stops. I love seeing who's practiced, who can nail them, because it's one of those things that I stink at. So to kind of see the drivers be able to hit those things and go back and watch a replay. Yeah, and watch John Garrett coming down here right now and getting down nice and easy. We talk about somebody that's had some pit stops. This driver right here, John Garrett, I mean, he's got some real life experience, in the ARCA cars on some of these tracks that they've gone to. So hats off to him being able to get out there and put the dream into real effect. But come out here with the young bucks and run the simulator with us as well. So they're always thank him for being out here. Dustin Franklin coming in the pits. So the pits are coming in here. Lap number 41. So it does look like they're going to split it up in thirds if they're out of gas or not. Eric Blount is coming in. Hilton Young's in. Brandon Mears in as well. So, yeah, pit stops in full effect. And, yeah, so we'll see how long these drivers can go.
I think the best time of the year for me is and for a lot of these drivers as well, it's their favorite time of the year, is when we have the CRN Cup, and we have that twice a year. It's great to see all these drivers mixing up with some of the other leagues that we broadcast here on CRN, and see who's cream of the crop across the boards, and it gives me an opportunity to see Barry's head explode a little bit, because every night here he has a different favorite driver. Well, all of his favorite drivers are out there on the track at the same time, and he's got to pull the Ricky Bobby. I'm not sure what to do with my hands, and who to root for. So it gets fun, and it gets interesting, and definitely looking forward to the next one. Still a few months away before we roll out with another CRN Cup, but I know as soon as we do, it'll probably fill up very quickly, because these drivers, I think, love the idea as much as we do up here in the booth. But right now, we're in the midst of the pit cycle, and we got a couple cars yet to come in, and it looks like some of them doing so right now. Dalton Kilrow was briefly your leader. He's in the pits right now with Robert Kahn, Cade Green, Todd Merkel in the pits. Looks like Michael Taylor going to stay out there for another lap. He's going to lead this lap right here in the number 98 Toxic Waste Sour Hard Candy. It looks like Michael Pratt going to stay out there as well, and Todd Poston. Those are the last ones to need to make a pit stop here on the first go round, but they're all made it right here to the third way mark. So looking at maybe one more stop before this thing is done and dusted if we stay green.
Yeah, and obviously a few of those coming in. You can see Ryan Kelly kind of coming up to the field here as the pitted drivers are, Michael Pratt's in, and Todd Poston, and see the wiggle back there from the 49. He's able to catch it here, and that's kind of one thing about these cars, Carl. We watch the Xfinity, we have next gen, and we have the Gen 6 cars all here on CRN, and even next season for VVR, they're going to be bringing out the trucks. So we'll even have a truck series out here. It's been a while since we've had the trucks live here on CRN, and I'm looking forward to it. Almost kind of jealous, because as of right now, if I had to choose a oval vehicle, it would be the truck. Oh no.
Well, we're going to have a caution here, so hold that thought. But before we get to the caution there, the one thing, speaking of the trucks, is they're going to be a new addition here coming up in about a week when iRacing has their update, because they're bringing in the Dodge Ram as one of the trucks as well. So we'll see a new manufacturer out there. But looks like Cade Green, fresh tires. Turn number 3 not working out too well here for the 19. Noses it into the inside wall. Going to bring out a caution. It's going to help some of the drivers that were kind of stuck back there. I know Hemi Giardini had a black flag, I believe, for speeding on entry, so he is still serving that penalty before he comes out, but he's going to be a lap down. Looks like Hilton Young and Tim Lee are credited as one lap down as well, so we'll see, I'm sure, maybe Hilton Young get the lucky dog here to get back on the lead lap. But Ryan Kelly did cycle back out as your leader. John Garrett, Mike Casey, Derek Paulson, Dustin Franklin for your top 5 now. I mean, we're not really that far from the pit stops. Only about 5 laps or so for some of these drivers. I mean, maybe if you're the back of the pack, you think about coming in here, but you're not going to eliminate a pit stop by coming in at this point. So unless you're planning on coming in and just kind of switching it up a little bit, maybe taking a shorter pit stop at the end, it seems like track position is pretty big here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if these drivers could go 70 laps, considering most of their pit stops were. I'll go bring that up for you so y'all can see this. But their pit laps here, we're in the 40s here. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to pull off 75, 78 laps here. And if they would, the tires might be blown by then as well. This track is pretty harsh on tires, especially that front right. But I mean, somebody in the back, maybe they can get some fuel and, you know, make their pit stop a little bit shorter, you know, and maybe make up for their slow entry or something. You know, any way to kind of gain some time, you know, one way or another. A gallon's a gallon, you know, half a second's a half a second or so. So every little bit helps. And I think being in the back, you know, if you're, you know, you're Hilton Young or Todd Poston, Michael Pratt, any of them drivers back there, if they came in and the top off, I wouldn't, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. You're not losing anything. It might be possibly be able to gain something a little bit later.
Ryan Kelly is your leader, and it looks like everybody pretty much staying out on this one. He's going to lead them back to the green flag here. John Garrett is the one out there in second place, and good run so far for the 66 of Garrett, as pace car is going to pull off and take the long, slow trek down the backstretch here. Mike Hasty, Derek Paulson, Dustin Franklin for your top 5. Kilroe now up into 6th, and now he's got fresh tires here for the restart as well. Robert Kahn, Len McNeese, Michael Taylor, and Eric Blunt for your top 5. It's time to go back to racing here at Phoenix. The car's getting back to the O'Reilly Auto Parts restart zone, and we're back to racing here in the desert.
Yeah, on board here with Len McNeese. You can see them kind of spread out there in front of them. You can't quite see it, but you'll see the number 21 right out there to the left there of Len McNeese, keeping them to the high side. Robert Kahn getting around as well here early, but you can just see how I like how the drivers have the option of the kind of going where they go. Oh, a little tag there off the wall as Len McNeese catches his car. It does look like I think that was Franklin. Yeah, Dustin Franklin tagging the wall, catching his as well. But yeah, I love like this right there, that angle. Look how wide they go across. You can fit like a semi truck in between them.
Yeah, the long way. It's pretty
exactly.
amazing how wide it is there. And you know, when you get the late race restarts here at Phoenix, that's where you want to talk about craziness. As crazy as some green flag pit entries are at at your tracks like Dega and at Daytona. That's how the restarts here at Phoenix can be, and almost pushing 3 wide or 4 wide right there, but it's like Dalton Kilroe backs out here a little bit. Still some close racing, as 73 of Dustin Franklin was kind of sneaking up there a little bit. Not sure if he's trying to get the side draft, but some close battling up here at the front already, and I'm sure a lot of these drivers looking up there at the top of the boards and seeing that number 13 and seeing that lead starting to stretch out here a little bit. I know it's plenty early, as we're not even at the halfway point just yet, but it's got to be an uncomfortable feeling right now.
The passing here is uncomfortable. To me anyways, you know, you get that, like I said, that dog leg is super inviting to kind of get in there, and you can let people go there pretty easily. I guess that's one good part about the dog leg, but this track position here is pretty tough to get. Especially when everybody's on equivalent tires and whatnot here. But everybody's doing a pretty decent job. Just a simple instance here, bringing out cautions at right after the pit stop. So at least got the green flag pit stops in. But Ryan Kelly is your leader right now, not by much. Derek Paulson, Dalton Kilroe, both working the back bumper there. And whoa, Dalton Kilroe with a run to the outside, but it's gonna back off here just a little bit as Derek Paulson comes alongside there, as they're behind the likes of Ryan Kelly in that number 13.
So back to some of the battling that we've seen early in the season. The 13 and the 41 going after each other right now. Again, Kilroe started back there in 15th position, but has worked his way up through the field. And with the nice little break with the restart right there, now has a chance to get up there and battle with the 13. And I'm wondering right now, Jimmy, is this... we're not even halfway through the race here. Typically we see, Dalton Kilroe, he can get to the lead and he can stretch out here a little bit, but a lot of times he likes to kind of save a little bit and make sure he has got a nice, good, long green flag run car. But is this maybe a kind of not like a warning shot, but a sign where he wants to get to the lead. He wants to be the one that dictates this thing and not look at the 13 here all night?
Maybe just a change of pit strategy, Carl. It does not have to kind of go out here and save fuel. And as long as they stay green, they only have one more stop. So it's just all about here kind of driving the car to the track, and you can see a much tighter line there that that Dalton had on through turns 3 and 4. Excuse me, 1 and 2. wrong side of the track, Jimmy. Yeah, so he just had a better 1 and 2 than the 13. Excuse me, dang. But you can see how rough that transition is from the apron to the raceway. But the 13 washes up. That's going to open the door here for the 41 as he's looking for a pass to head down the back stretch.
Got to fall back in line, and that's where that outside line is going to help maybe a little bit here for Ryan Kelly to hold on to that lead. And as much as Kilrow, I'm sure, wants to get to the front and dictate this pace, you got to wonder how much he wants to push that car to do so as well, because he could use those tires up and maybe only have the lead for a couple laps before Kelly regains it back. But, I mean, we've seen Kilrow not be afraid to get down there on the apron. He's one of the few cars that has been down on the apron almost every single lap here so far tonight, and doesn't mind diving down there, utilizing whatever tires he needs to. But taking a look back further in the pack, Robert Kahn has really been falling back here as he is back towards the back of the pack now. Early leader and your pole sitter here tonight, the 21, now back into 15th position and having to work his way back up through the field. So not sure if it's just some mid-race strategy here from the 21 to just kind of settle in or what the case is. But we are now officially past the halfway point. So, Jimmy, I think it's about time we maybe crank it up here a little bit for everyone out there in Sierra Nation and give them a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
Sights and sounds here from the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series as we are getting ready for our second round of pit stops. You've seen the close battle there between the 41 and 13, but Kelly peels off and he is going to maybe try and short pit the 41 to retake the lead as Kilroe is going to stay out there on the track. We'll see how long until the 41 comes in to make his pit stop. Looks like Hemi Gardini earlier on in the race ended up getting a meatball still in the pits serving that. Looks like Michael Taylor, another one that's been in the pits for over 10 minutes, getting some repairs done as well. So we're down to 18 cars still in this race, but only 17 technically in the workings of the lead lap, but some of them in the pits right now are going to go down a lap. Dalton Kilroe right now is your leader. Derek Paulson, Mike Casey, Dustin Franklin, Len McNeese for your top 5. You got Wilder, Pratt, Spalding, Merkel, and Mir for your top 10. But again, pit stops just kind of starting here at Phoenix, and this should be wrapping up the pit stops as well, unless we have late race caution or something like that. This could be the second and final pit stop for most of these drivers.
Yeah, they'll be able to make it the rest of the way from here on out, Carl. As you can see, Dustin Franklin coming down the pits here and make his final pit stop here on lap number 83. But obviously Dalton Kilroe has always been one to kind of extend his tank, but we know he can't stop, but as he has right now, he's got a bunch of people kind of trapped a lap down, and especially the likes of Ryan Kelly, which is not a bad place to have Ryan Kelly a lap down. Now with new tires and whatnot, that can happen. It does look like Dustin Franklin has got himself a black flag coming in through the pits, so he's going to have to get held up here. So speeding on the pits is going to hold that car up for 40 seconds until they let him loose back out on the track. So tough break there for Dustin.
One thing that I kind of admire with some of these, you see right there, Mike Casey coming in way out there on the right hand side, in the in the darker paved asphalt before he comes down into his pit box. It's tighter in pit road. If you get down there on the inside and you drive through the stalls, you could technically gain time by going down there and not driving on the outside. But that's where you're supposed to be. And it's kind of an unspoken agreement, I think, with some of these drivers that you need to be out there on that outside paved asphalt before you're a few boxes away. A lot of leagues, they'll say 2 or 3 boxes away from your pit stall is when you can turn into the pit stall itself. But I mean, if there's no rules towards it, technically the drivers could go down there and hug the inside wall all the way through that corner and drive through 15 other pit stalls to gain a little bit of time. But the fact that these drivers don't do that, I think it's a testament to everyone out there trying to be as fair as possible and trying to play by the rules as much as possible and not trying to take any kind of shortcuts, to put it mildly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good practice. I will say that if I'm on an official series, I'm coming in with other people, I'm shooting for those pit boxes if it's open, because they can't hit you. You're not indestructible. You can still wreck your car, but the other car can't hit you. So kind of like a block zone there. But the 49, Cole Spalding's going to go around,
and that is going to bring out caution. And that is going to benefit the 4 drivers that have yet to come into the pits. Dalton Kilroe, Brandon Muir, Todd Merkel, and Robert Kahn all have yet to come into the pits. They are going to benefit greatly from this. Looks like Ryan Kelly, I think, was already back on the lead lap, as was Derek Paulson. Trying to see, actually, no. Ryan Kelly is, looks like he's the first one a lap down, so he should get the lucky dog this time by. But you see already, Dalton Kilroe going to benefit big time from this one, so he'll be able to come in, take his pit stop, and get back out in front of Ryan Kelly, where if the whole thing cycled out, stayed green, Kelly would have had multiple second lead on the 41, and Kilrow would have had to try and run him down. Now, he doesn't have to do that. He comes in here, gets a fresh pit stop, and he'll have pretty much the entire field in between him and the 13, because the lucky dog, it's nice to get back on the lead lap, but then you got to go to the tail end of the longest line.
I mean, a lot of those cars need to get the wave around. So will they be behind the lucky dog?
They should be, yes. They should be, because if not, then the lucky dog would end up losing some positions.
Well, if that's the case,
I think is why
he might be up near sixth place anyways then.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. But still going to be some cars in between him where, again, if it played out, he would have had a huge advantage, taking that short pit and having those fresher tires for the longest time. But now, Kilrow has got several lap newer tires than he does. So would not be surprised if we seen Ryan Kelly take that lucky dog and come into to pit lane and get another set of tires if he has them, to try and work his way back up through this field. But certainly a benefit also for, as we mentioned, Todd Merkel, Robert Kahn, and Brandon Muir, as they all come in to make their final pit stops of the race, and they can now get back out there with the freshest tires on the field as well. So this is going to get very interesting here. We got a brand new top 5 that we can kind of watch for the rest of this race, and not really too much left in this race as we're coming down to the end. We got about 29 laps to go here tonight at Phoenix, and again, this is race number 8 for this Xfinity season. That is 21 races long, so a little over a third of the way through the season here so far. And got some good races still left on the schedule that we're going to get to before we switch it over to the Truck Series down in July. So looking forward to that already. But we need to decide who's going to be the Xfinity champion. See if that 41 can be beaten at all here in championship racing in VVR. As we're going to get this thing back underway. It's like the field, the field is going to catch back up, tighten back up, because we're going back to racing here, and I don't think the entire field was even really caught back up there, so we'll see if there's any kind of black flags that these drivers need to get into here, and it looks like everyone's going to walk away cleanly on this one. So back to racing here at Phoenix.
Yeah, back to green here at Phoenix, and Dalton Kilrow, nobody in front, freshest tires, some of the freshest tires in the field, and knows that Ryan Kelly is back there, but Ryan Kelly didn't come in. He didn't take any tires or anything fancy like that, so them 10-lap newer tires are going to pay off big here for Dalton Kilrow and Robert Kahn, Todd Merkel, and Brandon Muir. Here in this stage of the race. Yes, those top 4 have brand new tires, so they lucked out, Carl. I mean, it's almost like they were at Vegas.
We're not going to Vegas until next week.
Came to Vegas. Came from Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, some early gambling here certainly paid off by staying out there. Now they are the 4 fastest cars on the track. They all ran their fastest lap of the race that last time by, with Kilrow running the fastest lap of the race with a 27.46. So Kilrow trying to now run away from this thing, and mentioned it before the race. Probably one of the furthest back that we've seen the 41 start, back there in 15th position, but he always finds that race pace. Jimmy, he's found it, and he's found it at the right time.
Maybe he just was lacking some practice this week, and he just needed to get in a few before he got out here to, put it in. And it's also pretty hard to get a really good qualifying lap here, Carl. I mean, obviously the tires are cold. You can't really push the car too hard. And then if you don't hit it exactly on the next lap, you've kind of really just kind of shot your qualifying kind of out the window. So, it's not hard to mess up qualifying here at Phoenix, that's for sure. But up 14 spots, your biggest move of the race, as he did have a poor start to the race, but has found his way up here into that first position, and then getting a little bit lucky there with that last caution. 21 Robert Kahn started on the pole and finds himself in P number 2, chasing Dalton Kilrow yet again. for another week. Brandon Muir up there and up 7 spots, riding in 3rd. So good run there for the 71. Todd Merkel also in the top 5 here in that number 2. Ryan Kelly is back in P number 5, and Derek Paulson that led a few laps there earlier as well, back in 6th. Mike Hasty in the 72 in 7th. 8th is John Garrett and Todd Posson and Eric Blount. Round out your top 10.
Yeah, the 71 involved in the first incident of the night and got back end kind of knocked in a little bit. And it's definitely been a big bounce back running in 3rd place right now. So the night turned around very nicely here for Brandon Muir. Robert Kahn started on the pole, fell back pretty far in the field, back there into about a 16th, 17th position, but the same thing, just playing the right strategy here, stretching that fuel out there, got the caution that he needed, and now he's running in 2nd. Does he have anything for Dalton Kilroe is the question. Kilroe out to an almost 9/10 of a second lead already, just about out of any kind of drafting range. Not that drafting plays that big of a part here at Phoenix to begin with, but these drivers are really starting to stretch out here. As Kahn is about 1.1 seconds ahead of Brandon Muir, another 1 second back to Todd Merkel, another 1.5 back to Ryan Kelly for your top 5. Then you got Paulson, Hasty, Garrett, Poston, and Wilder for your top 10.
This race is all but over as we do just break with only 20 laps to go, now down into the 19 laps to go. You can see there up front, Dalton Kilroe starting to spread away or pull away there by almost a second. And then another second back to Brandon Muir, and then another second back to Todd Merkel. 2 seconds back to Kelly, and then Paulson right there. So, you know, the drivers got their hands full, and nobody's really battling until you get back there with Derek Paulson trying to take over that position for P number 5. And here I think... pretty sure they're almost in the same tires. Nope, Paulson is on some 5-lap newer tires than the number 13. So, you know, this here is just another case where you can see how important tires are here at Phoenix, even if it's just a couple laps.
That's where I kind of got into the whole situation where if you're Ryan Kelly, you know, you're getting the lucky dog. Do you come back in and take another set of tires? I'm trying to see, where is it? There we go. He wouldn't have been able to because these drivers only have 3 sets of tires, the tires that they start with, and then 2 more sets of tires. So luckily for Paulson, he had saved a set of tires from early on in the race, and now they're paying off pretty nicely here as he's got 5-lap number tires than everybody else. But you see some good battling back here, back in the pack as well, back in the back half of the top 10 right now. 91 of Wilder diving down to the bottom, and I think kind of all bets are off when it comes to cutting the track, using up tires, doing whatever you got to do. Right now, anything is fair game. You're trying to get every spot possible at this point. Right on board here with Michael Pratt trying to put the work on the 6 of Eric Blunt.
Yeah, gotta go down to the inside. Just a little harder braking. You gotta get that tight corner here. He's gonna drift up a little bit. He doesn't touch, but he's gonna stay down low, go down on that low side apron here. And this is where Carl was talking about where some drivers cut this corner here, and we'll see if Derek Pratt is one of those drivers. And you can see halfway over coming through turns number 4 there, work his way, but it touches with Eric Blount and gonna go for a ride here, and
save.
Still has it rolling.
Yeah, he did hit the wall there, but I mean, it kept it straight. So we're gonna keep this thing under
too.
Green. Yeah, I mean, he hit the wall pretty good there, but a great job straightening it back out to keep this thing green for the rest of the field. I know it's not what he wanted there, but it looked like the 6 just got a little bit too wide out of the corner, bounced off the wall, and straight into the 77 and shot him down to the inside. But speaking of shots, shot out of a cannon right now is Dalton Kilroe at the front now, 1.5 seconds in front of Robert Kahn in second place as the laps ticking down here at Phoenix. We got about 14 laps left in this race. I mean, it looks like it's, I don't want to say all done and dusted here with Dalton Kilrow going for another win here, but this is, I think, the first time that we've seen all season that a race with Dalton Kilrow and Ryan Kelly both in the same race, where Dalton Kilrow has looked to be the stronger car.
Yeah, he's Dalton's driven from the kind of mid pack, and like I said, I think he might. I'm sure when we get a chance to talk to him, he'll probably say he messed up his qualifying, but we're not any stranger to seeing the 41 starting back in the pack somewhere, and then come alive as the race goes on. So finding his stride, probably around the halfway mark at 41 really kind of came to life and has taken over. Obviously, a caution at lap 89 or 88 to help things out a little bit to kind of turn the tide there for himself. Robert Kahn, Brandon Muir, and Todd Merkel, your top four. In fifth right now is Derek Paulson, able to get around the likes of the 13, Ryan Kelly. Now Mike Hasey going to try to get around the 13 as well. A few drivers out there, obviously, laps down and just kind of trying to do their thing. Tim Lee in P number 13. He's actually up 5 spots. I usually see Tim finish in the top 10, but here tonight finds himself back in 13th. Cole Spalding is up 6 spots, by the way. So another good run there for the 49, even though he had the incident there earlier, but still doing a good job here from his starting position. Dustin Franklin, tough break with a pit entry, finds himself down 8 spots and in P number 15. Michael Pratt, our, I guess if you want to call him the back row general, he has found himself up a few spots here tonight, but not too many, only up into P number 17.
He was up a little bit further. He was up there just outside the top 10 before he got in the incident there with Eric Blunt and had to come in to serve that meatball. But this is the man that is looking to get himself tied with Ryan Kelly for most wins on the season with 3. And looking very well like he is likely to do that here tonight. He's already comes in as your points leader by 24 points over Ryan Kelly. Another 3 back to Ty Marasco, who is not in attendance here tonight. Derek Paulson, Mike Hasty for the top 5 in the points coming into tonight's race. But it is all Dalton Kilrow here tonight for the second half of this race. He's really turned it on here tonight and looking to take the checker flag here as back to the line. Going to be 6 laps to go.
6 measly little laps to go. They're getting around here great tonight. Great race here for VVR, obviously sponsored by Fort Worth Screen and Printing, Gold Line Guardians, and Hilton Crafts. So it's been a fantastic run here for VVR, and obviously cautions happen. That's part of racing. Nothing too bad. No big ones here tonight. Not too many major slip-ups. I think, mostly what we've seen, I think that the majority of them that have happened has had something to do with cold tires, Carl.
Yeah, we certainly seen that with Cade Green bringing out the caution earlier on tonight. That was straight up cold tires, and I mean we could have seen some other incidents here bring out the caution. We could have seen the incident there with Blunt and Pratt bring out a caution, but Pratt did a fantastic job keeping that thing straight after hitting that wall very, very hard. But the driver's doing a good job saving the car, keeping it clean for the most part out here tonight. And 41 around this time by, it's going to be down to 3 laps to go. So it's been fantastic set of circumstances when the caution came out for Kilrow, as he was one of the 4 cars still out there. He was leading when Ryan Kelly came in to the pits, but again, if it stayed green, Kelly would have had a nice sizable lead after the short pit that he made on the 41. But that's the risk that you take by taking a short pit, as if the caution comes out, you could be stuck a lap down, which he was. He had to get the lucky dog to get himself back on the lead lap. Was out of tires at that point as well, so he was not only going to be towards the back of the pack, but also down on tire strategy, since Kilrow was able to come in under the caution, get his second set of tires, and has kind of checked out since then. It's over a 3-second lead right now, and we are down to 2 laps to go before the 41 can claim his 3rd victory of the season.
As the laps ticking away here, trying to get to everybody's kind of final moments here. Tim Lee in a battle with Cole Spalding here for P at number 13, as Tim is currently in 14th, so trying to get one more pass done here tonight. And then we got Sean Wild and John Garrett. We've seen them back there battling it out, as John Garrett now is in the lead over that spot. And I think Todd Posta trying to get around the 91 as well. But up front, not much to see, as Dalton Kilroe is on the final lap, trying to sail this one into next week.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. Took a week off, as everyone else did, and he is right back to the action here, as he is going to claim his 3rd win of the season, stretch out that points lead as well. Coming home in 2nd place, as I just lost everything. There we go. Is going to be Robert Kahn in 2nd. Brandon Muir, great run for him, in 3rd. Todd Merkel, Derek Paulson for your top 5. Ryan Kelly's going to have to settle for 6th position here tonight. Mike Casey, John Garrett, Sean Wilder, Todd Poston for your top 10. But it was some perfectly timed yellows that gave this top 3, really the top 4, the advantage that they needed. And you don't have to give too many advantage to the 41 before he'll just go ahead and claim that victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously Dalton's always played a long game for a majority of the races, and rightfully so, as 90% or 95% of the races usually go green from start to finish. And when he got wrapped up in that early incident, I think he found himself a little bit behind. I think I seen him all the way back in a P number 20, and then just kind of kicked it into high gear from then on out and was driving through the field. And then obviously catching some cautions and putting himself up closer. And then at the end, obviously being able to be in that position, still out while a caution happened. So that's always a bonus, because if Dalton was, trades places with Ryan Kelly, he would have found himself in the same position, kind of trying to hang on to as best you can. But obviously, then the leaders with fresh tires are just going to end up driving away. We'll go ahead and get the race results here, as they've now come in, and I don't think we're going to have any steward changes. But here is your results for tonight's race. Dalton Kilroe is your winner over Robert Kahn. Brandon Muir there in Pete number 3. Todd Merkel's in 4th, and Derek Paulson's in 5th. Ryan Kelly, Mike Casey, John Garrett, Sean Wilder, and Todd Poston for your top 10. And then you have Eric Blount, Len McNeese, Cole Spalding, Tim Lee, and Dustin Franklin, and for your top 15. And then 16th is Hilton Young, 17th Michael Pratt, 18th Cade Green, and then you got 19th Michael Taylor. Hemi Garridini rounds out your top 20. Tyler Hilton back in 21st. DJ Mitchell in 22nd. Didn't get a chance to get out here and run that number 4 here tonight, but sure would have liked to see DJ on the track, because it's always a good time, and even sometimes even getting a chance to talk to him. But as Carl rounds up the drivers for the results, we'll just wait here a minute.
Yeah, it looks like we got our top 3 here ready for their interviews, and 3rd place here tonight is... Come on, mouse. There we go. 3rd place here tonight, Jimmy, is going to go to the 71 of Brandon Muir.
Hey, Brandon, Jimmy, and Carl.
Hey, how's it
going? Booth. Well, welcome to the booth. And interesting race. Pretty, not many incidents out there tonight. Enough to kind of catch you guys off guard there and give you, some good tires there at the end. Then kind of wrap up this race here and get you a top 3. But give us a little bit of run tonight. And how was your race? And how'd you do with this good old dog leg?
Well, if you go back to lap 1, I was facing infield with the front end starting to go towards the inside wall. So I thought my race was over and just stayed in it, was kind of hoping for a few cautions there. And the top 4 in the finishing order benefited like crazy with that last yellow. I was probably running 16th most of this race, and it helped me.
Yeah, it was, once, when you're kind of gifted that, everybody trying to maybe get a little bit of a short pit, and you get that caution to come out, and you can almost, you're in your shoes, you're like, yes, big benefit. Obviously, you're gonna have newer tires, enough fuel to get to the end and be up front. And everybody else is probably side a little bit and put their head down as obviously there's going to be a few cars out there with newer tires and it's going to be almost impossible to catch. But VVR is always a league that tends to go green from start to finish. Very few cautions in between. And you guys just kind of had one here tonight that was, right at that spot, that tricky spot of pit stop. So you caught the right wave. You got yourself a third place finish. You might have had trouble early on. I know Dalton Kilrow had some trouble early on as well. So
he was in it with me.
Yeah. So you guys were able to overcome those and find yourself here on the podium. So I want to say congratulations, man, and a fantastic drive here tonight in the number 71. Give you a little bit of time for any shouts you might have.
Just thank everyone for putting this on every week. I don't even know the freaking last time I actually had a good finish. It's hard to focus with. I run 5 leagues a week, so a lot of them are full length races, and I come to here and it's like, all right, we got kind of a short run tonight, but thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thanks for you guys putting this on. Good win for Dalton. Who got second? Robert? I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Good job there, Robert. And then Todd finished right behind me. The boys in the Roca Discord chat all night. Good job for them, as good as they could. That late race caution didn't really benefit them either. But, I'll take a third place. It is what it is. So,
well, congratulations on that third place, and definitely looking forward to hopefully getting a chance to talk to you again up here. But for this one here, we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 71 of Brandon Meir. Certainly benefiting late in the race to get that caution, and really good bounce back after getting involved in an early incident as well. Second place here tonight is going to go to your pole sitter, the 21 of Robert Kahn. Robert, obviously you had a good single lap car to get yourself on the pole, and you were hanging up there for the first run, but we've seen mid-race you fall way towards the back of the field. Any kind of issues with the car, or were you just trying to settle back in there, maybe just try and go into ultra fuel save mode?
No, I got turned going into turn 1 and 2. Dustin came in there, and I don't know what happened with him or whatnot, but he hit me in the right rear corner and then stayed on my bumper till the job was done. But I fell back to 15th, and I think I worked back up to 11th and stayed out and got that lucky caution, and had fresh tires, and I was just, if I finished 10th, I would have been happy with that run after that. So to get second place, I was happy with it.
Yeah, sometimes the cautions work out very nicely, and certainly for the four of you out there that were still yet to come into the pits, it had to feel just like like you said, kind of a breath of fresh air, and all of a sudden your race kind of turned around and you were just about locked in, no matter what happened to at least the top 5.
Yeah. This isn't a really good track. I don't win often here, but in practice I found something. But I was happy with a top 5 finish tonight. To walk out of here at a track I'm not really that great at, and to have a little bit of speed, I was happy with it. And the race was great. I mean, 2 cautions on a track that's usually at the end, like it can be a lot. It can have a lot of cautions. Yeah.
Well, one thing I noticed is it didn't seem like you guys like the apron, like the dog leg too much. I mean, we've seen a few cars, dipping down there, especially early on the runs, the restarts and things like that. We've seen cars going down there, but for the most part, it seemed like a lot of the drivers like to stay up on the track. Was that a tire wear concern? Was it causing damage going down there on the dog leg?
Tire wear. In practice, I ran a full fuel run twice, and in both of those times, I had a 5% difference in my right front from cutting down to the apron versus staying up out of the dog leg. It felt like I had a better long run speed. Now, towards the end, when I was trying to play catch up, I was running down there, but if I had a choice, I would have stayed up there. The car handled better. It set up a little bit better going into 1 and 2, and then he had a little bit less right front wear. There was a huge difference in tonight in right front to right rear wear, and usually you can try to correct that by getting on the throttle a little bit earlier and hanging it out, but I could never get that evened out. There was like a 15%, almost 20% difference at times from right front to right rear. So.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, you go down there on that dog leg on the apron, and yeah, you can cut the track, and it's a little bit shorter, but you got to go so far back up onto the track to set up a good entry into one that, anything that you gain, you almost kind of lose right back.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like when you run Indianapolis and you see people do the worm going down the straight, and they go down and then they cut up right before the turn entry. But if you stay straight against the wall the whole way through, your entry going in is a little bit better. So, and I ran the high line, so it was an awkward angle coming off that dog leg and then going straight up and then ripping the wheel to the left to stay up high. I didn't like going down there if I didn't have to.
Well, hey, at the end of the day, you come home in second. So no matter what you liked or didn't like here tonight, it worked out pretty well, and you got yourself an interview here after the race. So that's always a good thing. So we'll let you take some time here and give Rick any shout-outs or thanks that you may have.
Yeah, well, thanks to VVR. I mean, the shows they put up every week are amazing. It's a really fun league to run, and got to give a shout out to whoever chose the setup for tonight. It wasn't very loose. It wasn't tight. It was a very neutral setup, and I think a lot of the success with the league and going long green flag could be to do with setups, like how they pick them. They're just very neutral. So hats off to them on that.
Well, certainly a fun race to watch up here. Only, like you said, a couple cautions out here, so good race by all you guys out there. Congrats again on the second place here tonight. We'll see you out in Vegas. See if you can get to that top spot.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you guys. You guys do a hell of a job.
Appreciate that, buddy. That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 21 of Robert Kahn. Top spot here tonight, though, and tying now for the most wins on the season, stretching out that points lead, the 41 of Dalton Kilrow.
Oh, and Jimmy Carl up in the booth. Do you copy, buddy?
I copy.
Well, welcome back. We missed you last week as you were off doing who knows what besides coming up here and visiting us. But
it was barely holding on to the pack. That's what happened.
No,
actually, nobody was here last week. Nobody was here last week.
Last week there was exactly. It was two weeks ago.
Exactly.
2 weeks ago.
Yes, exactly. You weren't here last week. Maybe you guys do something like relax for the week. So, but no, it's great. It's great to be back and to have you back here as well. And obviously was a little concerned there in the beginning as we seen you kind of get tied up in a little bit of an incident, no caution come out. And then it was like that happened. And like, I don't know. I was just thinking to myself, flip the switch. He's like, now he's coming like a madman as you were kind of flying through the field, using that apron around the dog leg and everything, and just making things happen. And next thing I know, you're halfway back up to the field. So you really did drive the wheels off there early on. So no surprise that at the end, getting the, being able to be out there as long as you were, catching that caution, new tires out front. Yeah, it was almost like picture perfect kind of like timing there for the 41 here tonight. But give us your side of the story, how things went, and what was going through your mind there early on.
Yeah, early on, I knew I messed up in qualifying on that second lap. Literally coming out of 4, the car got super tight, and I absolutely just murdered the outside wall. Could have probably started in the top 5 if I didn't do that, but hey, it's whatever. And I just knew I had to be relatively patient because I knew I had some good long run speed. Maybe not quite as good as Ryan Kelly. It seemed like he had the slight edge as we got towards like the very end of the fuel run. But no, I was just hitting my marks like normal, and I wasn't trying to overdrive anything, and I was just picking guys off left and right. I think I passed 2 people in the dog leg in 1 lap, and I was like, what are y'all doing? No, I was glad that when me and the 71, I think it was, got together on lap 2 there.
Yep.
It didn't end the race for either one of us, because clearly catching that caution really saved both of our races. I don't know if that caution hadn't come out. I don't know if I beat Ryan Kelly. I think I was gonna just plan on going long just to have like 10 lap extra tires than him anyway. but I don't know if I would have been able to overcome the undercut. But hey, caution came out. I knew it. There was a chance. So I just was like, you know what? He already pit and was close. He was going to be ahead of me anyway. So might as well see what happens. And sure enough, boom. Caught some luck tonight and was able to capitalize and just get down the road.
Yeah, that you were able to do. Get that 41 back up front here where it belongs, as Barry would say. Out there rooting for you as always here on Thursday nights. And so, we always want to say congratulations. Great save, great run, and a great finish here tonight. But we want to give you some time for any shouts you might have as well.
Yeah, I got to thank MFRD. Got to thank Team Watts Racing Setups. I'm one of their newest house drivers, actually. So starting to do some road to pro stuff, and they've been providing some really good setups for me. So happy with the results there. I got to thank Robert Kahn for hanging out with me tonight. I know Paulson's my teammate, but we ain't been talking in a while, and I don't know why. He's hanging over in another Discord for whatever reason. So Paulson, boo. Thanks for everybody at home tuning in. Everybody on the track for keeping it clean for the most part. I mean, obviously, I know we had a couple cautions, but that's going to be a given in Phoenix. I mean, most of the time this track sucks, but it is what it is. Absolutely thanks for doing the broadcast for us, and everybody at VVR for putting the league on, because this is a fun place to race.
Oh, well, we really appreciate the shouts. Always great to see you out here. Always great to get a chance to talk to you as well. But again, we want to just say congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is your winner here tonight, third win of the season for Dalton Kilroe, as he's happy to be back. But Jimmy, I smell some drama, and I like drama.
So, I know I thought you picked that up pretty quickly.
Yeah, you know me. What's going on? Somebody's so there's a feud. There's a feud. So somebody peed in the punch bowl. Okay, I'm in. Let's go. Well, either way, we'll see how the season plays out with that right there being the case. But great run here tonight for a lot of these drivers. We've seen some really good saves. We've seen really green race as usual here at VVR as well. Just a couple cautions throughout the night. So congrats to another good run by these drivers here on CRN. But we're not going to have a week off next week. We're right back at the racing action as we're going to be heading out and, well, I guess staying in the desert, but heading over to Nevada this time, as we're going to be at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, high banked 1.5 mile tri-oval there, and that's a favorite of mine, not just up in the booth, but it's a track that I enjoyed driving as well, because you can really rip that track around there. So we'll see what the drivers have in tap for us next week out there for 100 laps. But you're going to have to tune in to CRN to find out what happens there, as we are done and dusted for this week. We'll be back in action on Sunday night with 191 Motorsports. But for myself and Jimmy from the desert here in Phoenix, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.